Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Force here with some gaming discussion. Today we're going to be talking about the World of Warcraft and how it's become so incredibly casual. What I'm specifically talking about today is dungeons. So I've spent a bit of time in the past week. We're leveling up new characters, and I started this druid. He's now level 45, and you might say, Force, you're leveling super fast. Well, with a full set of heirloom gear plus a level 25 guild bonus experience, I do a single dungeon and I get a level, even in my mid-40s right now. So it's actually not difficult to level, but that's not the casualization thing that I want to focus on, because making leveling easier as the level cap raises and as the game gets older, that's something that kind of makes sense to me and that I'm kind of okay with. Something that I'm having a difficult time, and I'm sort of two minds on this. I see the positive and the negative, is how easy dungeons are now. They are so face roll easy. There is literally zero tactical discussion that needs to take place. Now, this is coming from just leveling up dungeons. I'm not talking about endgame content because I'm not really focused on doing that right now. I talked about this in my video last week. You know, I've got level 80 characters, and I think I have a level 85. But I'm not interested in rushing to the end game and trying to do the end game. I just wanted to go through, sort of revisit WoW, get that fresh experience, and try to maybe, I don't know, rekindle some of the stuff that I originally loved about vanilla. And I'm definitely getting some of that, revisiting old areas, and I'm enjoying taking things pretty slow and just leveling up with my friend, doing dungeons and PvP and stuff like that. But it is crazy to me how ridiculous is this. First of all, if you haven't noticed yet, I am the main healer in this dungeon. Now, what you'll have noticed in that, even though I'm the main healer, I'm spending 95% of my time, and this is not just this dungeon, this has been every dungeon that I've done while leveling up, I'm spending 95% of the time DPSing, because there's no reason for me to be consistently healing. I literally throw a single rejuvenation on my main tank, and then I drop Hurricane, Moonfire, and Wrath, and I just do that all dungeon. It's crazy. I mean, I remember when Dire Maul first came out, every single pull, and not just Dire Maul, this was just dungeons in WoW in general, every single pull you had to think about. You had to talk about crowd control. Who did we have to DPS down first? You know, what's the tank gonna take care of? You know, holding aggro, of course. But you know what I'm saying? Like, there were legitimate tactics that took place when it came every single pull. Sometimes, when dungeons first came out, before every single pull, you had to have like a 2-minute conversation where you're like, okay, I think we're gonna CC this guy. I think the tank's gonna pick this stuff up. Maybe Hunter, you could throw down a trap on this dude. Warlock, you can seduce. Like, all this stuff is not necessary anymore. And it is not even necessary for me as the main healer to be healing on a regular basis. It's like, you know what, I could probably go a DPS build. I could probably go like Moonkin and still off heal. I could probably, this is unbelievable to me. I could probably play Feral and still be the main healer because it's just so face roll easy. Now, part of that is someone's gonna say, well, you're wearing like a full set of heirloom gear. Yes, that's true, but heirloom gear is equivalent to blues of your level. From the research I've done, that's basically what it is. Every time you level up, the heirloom gear gets upgraded to a stat equivalent of a level blue. Now, back in the day, if I was wearing full blues going through Dire Maul, it would not have been this easy. Not even close. So it's kind of crazy. Now, as I said at the start, I'm sort of two minds as to how I feel about this. Number one, it makes me sad because it's not what I remember, right? So things have changed, and everyone hates change. Oh, change is difficult and it makes me sad. Well, yeah, I mean, for part of me is like, yeah, man, I remember when this was tough. Why is this? I can pretty much AFK this thing. You know, I could be eating a sandwich with one hand and play the game with the other one. And some cynical people say, WoW's always been that stupid easy. No. There was definitely a time where as a main tank or as a healer, and even as a DPS, you were paying attention to rotations, you had to make sure you were topping everyone off, you consistently had to pay attention to aggro. If my tank does not hold aggro on a single mob, I could still easily heal up my entire party and still DPS at the same time. So part of me is upset for that. But the other part of me thinks, you know what? When I first played this game, I was 18 years old. Now I'm coming up on 28. And as an older person, I've got, adult responsibilities, things that take up time. And so having a dungeon that used to take an hour to 2 hours, which this was the case for this dungeon, used to take an hour to 2 hours, now takes, I think this run took us 13 minutes? I mean, that part of me is like, okay, that's actually kind of nice, because I could jump in, I could do a dungeon 15, 20 minutes later. If I got something else going on, I can do that. I can get back to work, or, go vacuum, or do the dishes. Welcome to adult life. It's part of it. Got to keep the house clean. But it just, I don't know. It's interesting to me to see this change, and I'm not like going to be all jaded about it, and I'm super sad, but I just sort of wanted to make note of this fact. And I'm sure lots of people watching this probably already know it because you've been playing WoW for the past two years, but I am just now getting back into it, and it is kind of crazy to me to see how easy these low-level dungeons are. And again, I get it. This isn't the endgame stuff. Maybe the endgame stuff is tough. I've heard otherwise, but, if I get there with this character and I'm still playing WoW at that time, well then, I can speak to it then. So maybe, we're talking about low-level instances, and maybe Blizzard's like, well, these people are leveling up. We don't want them to take an hour and a half, 2 hours for a single dungeon. And I get that, right? I do, but it is still a little bit disappointing. I don't know. So I don't know what you guys think. If you're playing WoW, or just even hearing about this, if you haven't played WoW in a while, just seeing this run, seeing how easy it is, knowing that this wing of Dire Maul literally took us 13 minutes, and having your prior experience with this dungeon, and this has been the case for all the dungeons that I've done while leveling up. How do you feel about it? Again, I'm of two minds. I'm kind of bummed out, but at the same time, I'm like, hey, you know what? 15-minute dungeons, that's kind of nice, because I got other stuff going on too, so there you go. Just wanted to talk with you guys about that. Let me know what you think in the comment section below about how WoW is now super casual, at least this specific aspect of it, and leveling up. Those are things that I've had experience with since my revisit. Thanks guys so much for watching. If you like the content, please subscribe. I'm interested to hear what you think, so please go ahead and comment below. Thanks for watching. Keep watching and keep owning. I mean, this is, even with an awful tank, this is face roll easy.